Hi everyone, welcome to Bikini Design Club. Today we will be sewing the Storm top. This is one of our newest patterns, and it has an optional pattern for a ruffle. And on our pattern I actually have two, because we have a smaller top that ends here. This is the top, and a larger top. So I'm going to do at the same time on this same video the two options. I'm going to start by assembling my pattern, and then we can start cutting our fabrics. So here are the two options for our top. This is the bigger one, the one that this line is on the shoulder and it has a dart on top, and the smaller one, like a simple triangle bikini top, not very small, it's like a medium, but here it is the smaller version and without the top darts. The strap here is thinner than this one, of course, and they both have the darts below the bust. And now I'm gonna just prepare my optional ruffle, because I'm gonna apply the ruffle on this pattern. So here we have the two pattern pieces, the two different tops, this one and this one, and this ruffle is going to be applied here and a little bit in the back. So this one is to apply here, and then the small one. I also took notice of the straps that are mentioned on the description on the pattern, and so we are going to start cutting our fabrics. I'm going to use these three fabrics today. We will need the cutter, some pins, some clips, some pins, of course rubber elastic. I use 8mm rubber elastic, and our sewing machine, and of course threads, nylon threads, or polyester or whatever, and that's it. Let's start cutting our fabrics. We now I've actually cut a very long strap, and then I will divide this in pieces. So this is for the bigger one, for this one. I have my exterior fabric and my second fabric. It's not lining, it's lycra, but it's white. And then my ruffle will be in white. As you could see on my video, I always fold the fabric, even if the pattern doesn't have a fold line. I always cut the pattern and cut two layers at a time. It's easier for me, and I'm sure that they look exactly, they are cut exactly the same size. So I have here these top pieces ready, and for the other one I also cut some straps, and then we also have the lining in white and the main fabric with this print of the flowers. So let's start by pinning everything that we can to go to our sewing machine. On my ruffle I have to cut one of the sides to open the ruffle, and now yes, it's ready. So for the larger top and for the smaller top, right sides facing together, I always place my elastic on my exterior fabric side. So first, don't forget that the curve is under the arm, and this is the center of your top. And here the longer line is the center of your top, and the smaller line it's the under the arm side. So for both of them, let's face right sides facing together and my exterior fabric facing up. And for this one, we will pin both sides. We will first do our darts and then pin on both sides. So for now, the first thing to do is to sew our darts. Let's sew all the darts. So if you face your fabrics, and this is applied to all of them, if you have your fabrics right sides facing together, you know that your dart needs to be sewed like this. So I will pin. And also, so this was like this, okay? And once this is done, we need these darts to be made on the same side, so we will also pin this one. Like this. So when you pin your dart, don't forget that the seam is on the inside, so we pin this one and this one. They are both ready. Let's do the same for all the other darts. We are now ready to sew our darts. So before you go to the sewing machine, just make sure that you pin on the correct sides of the fabric, and then you are ready to go. We are also going to already to prepare our straps for the top, and we are also gonna sew the lower strap for this one. We now have all our darts sewed and ready. So let's place all the tops with right sides facing together, like this. And let's use the loop turner to turn our straps to the correct side. I'm cutting some clips from the video, because if I don't, this will be too long. So if you need any help, let me know. Well, now right sides facing together, we will pin in this smaller one. We will pin the center, the outside, and that's it. For this top, we cannot do the same because we need to place our dart. This is a test that I've made, and as you can see, the ruffle is here. This is the top, the center, and I hope you can see, and you don't see any seam on this side, on the reverse either, if you do this to the ruffle. But you see, I did it in black, so you can see the thread here for the back strap. If the strap was larger, it was easier to do as we did here. We could do it here. But since the strap is narrow, I'm not able to do the same method. So you can choose to apply your ruffle completely once your top is done, and you apply with this method, in which you sew with the ruffle like this, you sew, and then when you do like this, everything will be perfect on the outside. Or you can do as I am going to do. At least in the front, I am going to do like this with no seams showing. And then here I did like, I took the ruffle out and I connected like this. Maybe you find there are other ways, there are technical ways that are perfect. I'm not a professional, as I've told you before. So today in this tutorial I'm teaching you the way that I know how to. So instead of pinning the inside of the top, we will place our darts inside. Since we are going to have a channel here, we will need to leave 0.5 centimeter for the seam allowance and 1 centimeter for the channel. So you can measure with your ruler 1.5 centimeters, so you make sure that you know where you are starting to place your ruffle, and you do a small dot there. And then you see the ruffle is curved like this. So we will place it like this. So you will go and you open the top here. We open the top. We place the ruffle on the dot that we've made. And we will start adjusting the ruffle to stay in place. You can do this with clips or pins. I start with clips. I'm patient. I do this slowly. I start with clips, and then I do this until the top. I add the front part because I'm just doing this to the lining piece, you see, and now I can come here with my exterior fabric and add my fabric to the clip. And then we will be ready to sew the center parts of our top. So instead of using the clips, I will then pin, because it will be better to go to my sewing machine. And I will do this until the top of my top. Now that our smaller top is pinned and our bigger top already has the ruffle on this side with all the pins, let's go to our sewing machine and sew here, 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 and here. I'm not sure yet. I'm deciding if I'm doing this only one ruffle or if I'm using the other ruffle. I'm not sure if I want this top to be symmetric. So this is also an option for you. You can decide to use or not to use the ruffles on both sides or none. So it says you have lots of different options with this pattern. Let's go to our sewing machine. The next step on these two is to insert our top straps. So we will put the seam towards the lining fabric, and we will insert the strap here. We will pull the strap here. We secure it and we are ready to secure our strap. And we do the same on this side. I always use the straight stitch machine to secure my straps. I use a little bit of zigzag also on the diagonal here, because I want to make sure that my threads from the overlock are secure, since after this is sewed, I always trim. So to make sure that when I trim this is not going to unfold, I do some small diagonals. I do this every time, so if you've seen other videos, you already know this. So I'm gonna do this here and here. Coming back to our ruffle top, the bigger one than that. Our ruffle is already here, secured. Now we will fold it carefully like this to make sure that it's not on our way. Sometimes I put a pin here or a clip. And now we are ready to sew the other side. So we will pin the entire side, and when we go to the sewing machine we can do this, this and this and also this one. I was starting to put the ruffle here, but I don't want it. I want it to be asymmetric, so I will just pin. In this case I can pin both sides, the center and also the sides under the arm. I will pin, whoa, I will pin both sides and then we will go to our sewing machine.